I had to make a tinkle before I came on stage, and Dustin Marshall, our producer here from Feral Audio, he took it upon himself. We went go to find the bathroom together. We had to walk through a lot of stuff, and it was a long, a couple elevator rides, and it's a long journey to find.
There's a bathroom right through that wall, right there.
Yeah, but there's no door.
Yeah. We eventually found it. And it was like we walked in, and there was just like 4 urinals along the wall. And Dustin was like, "Whoa, it's like Pea City in here." It was like we had found the National Treasure vault. It's like Pea City.
That reminds me, I walked into the bathroom once, and there was a janitor. He's like, fuck. I said, what's the matter? He's like, it smells like shit and piss in here. You're a janitor in a toilet.
Yeah. People who are shocked at their jobs. We had this weird flight delay today where we got in an airplane at LAX, and I'm going to round the numbers off here. I don't know the exact ones, but it's like basically 4 hours from Miami, and but we were in the air, and I guess I was asleep, and so was the guy next to me. Oh, so first of all, sorry, let me start at the beginning, because I had a terrible day today. First class American Airlines, the worst. Sorry. No. I'm not going to complain more about airlines. I'm just like these things happened on a plane. I'm the bad guy in most of it. I get on the plane, and I'm like, my ticket says 5B, and I look, and I got and it says aisle, and there's a guy that's kind of like, I see on his ticket. Oh, I'm sorry, it says 5B on his ticket. Why is that important? Because someone's going to fact check it and go, if you were in 5B, you weren't in the aisle. I don't blame you. I have the same neurological disorder you do. I just
He's
don't.
He's talking to himself, folks.
But he's like, I can see on his ticket that says 5B, so I know he's sitting in that aisle, and I'm 5A. But he's talking to some lady that's like a row ahead, and he's going like, oh, I don't know if I'm by the window or, and I'm like thinking in my head, I don't care if you don't like the window, you're not going to pull one of these things. Like, I'm just thinking at my head. And he's like, I don't know, it says I'm 5A, but I said, it's the window. I pointed at the diagram. I said, there's a drawing of a guy and a window next to his head, and there's no confusion. And then he starts sitting down. But then it turns out the lady in the row ahead, she's like, it becomes clear that they're a couple, and they're traveling together. And she's like, I don't know why they would sit me up here. And I said, oh, do you want to switch seats? And she's like, you would do that for us? I said, well, of course. I mean, you guys sit there. And she's like, thank you very much. I not since 9/11 has bravery been acknowledged. And I was starting to get a little pissed off that people didn't applaud. Thank you for it's like they're selfish people. They don't know heroism when they hear about it. Because that was the end of my story. I switched seats because they didn't applaud. I was going to start making shit up because I was embarrassed for you. I'll switch seats with you. But I specifically said, so this is your seat, right? And I point at 4B, which is the window. I'm sorry I keep switching these letters around, but it's at 4B. And she said, yes, that's my seat. And I go, okay, because obviously I wouldn't want to, screw with whoever else is sitting or whatever, but it's like oh, thank you so much. So she sits there in 5A next to her husband in 5B, and I go into 4B, and there's like cookie packages and shit. I just start like throwing shit around. I've got, it's my home now. I installed a ceiling fan. There's a pillow. I drew a face on it and fucked it, and like I threw it out the window of the plane, and I just rubbed my butt all over the seat to make it nice and warm, and then this couple comes on, and they look at me, and they're just like, ugh. Like they have this look on their face, like, what is this homeless Kevin Smith, like? And they're like, and I'm like, and I know the look, and I turn to the woman behind me and I go, did you give me someone else's seat? Really accusing, like I did not rise above it at all. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry, well, and she holds up her ticket, it says 3B. How are you, if you had a whole conversation, yes, thank you. I think you're applauding maybe her, but.
I think that person has an OCD thing. I don't think they're applauding you.
They're flapping, is that what it's called? Yeah. You're stimming. You're stimming.
There was no connection to anything good.
What? Sorry, what's that? Tourette's. Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. I asked what you said. It's maybe it's possible. In a strange way, you have Tourette's.
Sounds like you have Tourette's.
He has meta Tourette's. He just shouts the word Tourette's out. He has Tourette's. He has Tourette's. He has Tourette's. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, Dan, I was at your show. I'm a Scientologist with Tourette's, and I consider this my letter of resignation from your fandom.
You are really offending a lot of people tonight.
I
get it.
So I have to go now. I have to go all the way up to 3B. So now, and the guy in 3A, he's already done. This is so late in the stage. He was thinking like, oh shit, man. I got an empty seat next to me. He's got socks and laundry and fucking backpacks and pretzels and I feel bad for him. I feel bad for myself. I'm just like, it's a clusterfuck. And I sit down next to him. So that's the end of that chapter of the story. But it continues. It gets so fascinating. So me and this gentleman, we fall asleep together in our next to each other on the plane at some point. So at some point during the flight, we missed them saying, ladies and gentlemen, it's so foggy in Miami that we're landing in Orlando. And we both missed that announcement and just woke up at some point and we're descending on this city and he's looking out the window and he starts going, he goes, that's not Miami. and I'm like, oh yeah? Check, please. Because he just sat, and I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, I'm serious. That's not Miami. and I swear to God, I'm so embarrassed. Well, obviously this ends with my comeuppance, but like I was riding this high. I was like so patronizing to him. I was like, I think. You get in a metal tube, and it goes like this for a while, and I think it always ends up in the city you bought the ticket to. It's my experience with air travel. And he's like, no, I'm from Miami. That is not Miami. And I said, it's a bunch of glowing lights. It's a grid of roofs. I mean, maybe you have city blindness. Maybe it's to me it looks like it could be Miami, it could be Copenhagen. I'm never I don't judge by this distance. Like
you said, you wouldn't know L.A.
Right? Yeah. So I was like, I'm the guy's kind of chuckling because I want to make it clear, I'm really busting the guy's balls. and I go I'm like, let's you and I, we'll land the plane, we'll get out very carefully, we'll peek out, we'll find a newspaper. and he's not laughing anymore because he's like, I'm serious, I'm from Miami, that's not Miami. I'm like, okay. So then the crazy thing is, because they already told everybody, but we were asleep, they don't then say, okay, like the plane lands in the city and they still haven't said. They said it before, so they don't say it again. They just land and then they're like, okay, everybody, just hold on, and we'll get everybody where they're going as soon as the problem's over. And I was like, what problem? What's happening? And then there's after like 20 minutes, a guy walks up with his luggage to the front of the plane, and he's like, I'm getting out. I want to get out of the plane. And it's just like, you can't can't get out of the plane. Like, you can't. If you get out of the plane, you're in the wrong place. And I'm like, what the hell? Are we on the tar? Does he want to get off on the tarmac, or what is he? But I see the tube is connected, the thingy bob, and he's like, I have a right to get off the plane. I will get a cab, and I will blah blah. And she's like, okay, but you have to just hold on a second. And she gets on the thing and she goes, ladies and gentlemen, there are people that are wanting to get off the plane, and it's their right to do so, but it's not a good idea if you do get off the plane, and I don't recommend it. Don't go far. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Is this like Langoliers? Like what? Don't go far. Like did a terrorist attack happen? Like don't go far. It's like it's Earth. Like, what do you mean don't go far? Like, what if I have family? What do you we're in Miami, aren't we? And then I just like finally they never said the word Orlando, and then so that like I finally and then so that guy, so she finishes shaming that guy, and then she's like she goes I reckon we're gonna turn out the lights and everybody should take a nap. That's what she said. It's like a Jonestown thing is happening. And then then 28 seconds after that, so based on some visual cue, I don't know if some guy out the window was like made like a base stealing gesture or something. She gets back in the fight. She's like, okay, ladies and gentlemen, everybody get off the plane and don't go far. She like turned to 180. She's like, why are you still on the plane? Get off the plane. Like she started like yelling at us for being on the plane. She's like, why are you napping? Get off. But don't go far. And I got up and I put on my backpack and I said, I don't think this is Miami. And the guy's like, I know. And we went out and it was Orlando. And I bought a bunch of salmon stuff. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, guys.
That's when you applaud.
Yeah. But there was a lady, we went to a sandwich restaurant, and the woman at the sandwich restaurant was confused, frustrated. She couldn't believe when she got up that morning to work at her airport sandwich store. She's like, what she was saying was, next, what? I was like, can I have a breakfast sandwich? We have ham and cheese, sausage, eggs. I said, I'll have a ham, egg, and bacon. We have ham and cheese. We have bacon. She's like, I fucked up. And I was like, I'll have that one. And she's like, and I was like the unspoken part of her statement was like, how can this be happening to me? How can a plane land next to my sandwich counter? And all of these hungry people are just lining up and wanting sandwiches. I come here to read. And I stole a bag of Doritos. Yeah. I knew you guys would get that. In L.A., they'd boo that. Fucking Miami style. Miami style. This place invented Vice. And then I fucked a baby. Woo! And then I fed it to a. Do you have crocodiles or alligators? Yeah. And you know what? It was an alligator, but I sharpened its nose and turned it into a crocodile. I don't give a shit. No, I stole a bag of Doritos. I did it. I grabbed it. I opened it and just started eating it. And I went up to the counter and I was like, I waited for her to charge me for it. And I was just like, I'll have a sandwich. And I was just like, I was like, I'm stealing Doritos, and I stole it. Yeah. What you guys are saying? Tourette's. All right, Will Smith. That shit. There was one other thing, I swear to God. I don't.
Thanks, Steve.
That's Steve. Steve wants.
He drives down.
Steve rented a car, and that's the weird thing. There's nothing funny about this, but it's just I just find it incredibly ironic that we got that's a 4-hour flight from L.A. to Miami, and we were then 4 hours from Miami by car. So had we stayed home until the fog lifted, we could have just. And boy, what? Oh, I'm sorry. Are you guys okay? Oh, did Sherlock Holmes come out of the? Was Jack the Ripper here? How could you hear each other over the foghorns? It must have been so foggy. I don't know why. If it's too foggy for them to land, I don't know why. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, other planes landed in that time frame, I think. He saw it.
Yeah. I will say though, that's the one thing I won't complain about though, as far as like an airline. If they're scared to land, even if it means because they think they suck, like I can't do fog, man, I can't do it. I'm like, then don't do it, Steven. Don't. Like, this isn't time to. I don't want to be part of your fucking coming of age story. Just land in Orlando and go back to flight school and just avoid London or.
Yeah, I want that guy in flight that turned the plane upside down on cocaine. Yeah.
Yeah, who was that guy?
He was.
Yes, it was Denzel
I liked
Washington.
him.
We like that flight movie.